Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Mahārāja's message is your advantage. The following is a Caitanya Leela compilation given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Mahārāja on January 10th, 2022 in Sri Mayapur, India.
Pangun Langai Tegirim,
Yati Satavan Mande,
Sri Gurum Dina Tarinam,
Paravananda Vāravam,
Sri Caitanya Mishwara.
Harihi Om Tat Sat.
So today we'll see from the compilation of Lord Caitanya, the leader of the Māyāvādī sannyāsīs, Prakāśānanda Sarasvatī, implores Lord Caitanya under the section how all the residents of Varanasi became Vaishnavas. Caitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 25.15.
Provancha Purunatha Prabhuta Vyas Bhakta Dukha Dekhibo Monete Chintilo Sannyasir Mon Firaite Mon Hoilo.
Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu accepted his invitation, and the next day, after finishing his noon-time activities, he went to the Brahmana's house. Caitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 7.58.
আর দিনে গেলা প্রভু সে বিপ্রভবনে দেখিলেন বসিয়াছেন সন্ন্যাসীর গণে.
The next day, when Lord Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu went to the house of that Brahmana, he saw all the sannyasis of Benares sitting there. Caitanya.
All the Māyāvādī sannyāsīs of Benares had already gathered there.
So all the Māyāvādī sannyāsīs of Benares had already gathered there.
Lord Caitanya went there to specifically liberate them.
Lord Caitanya went there to specifically liberate them
To Bhakti Yoga.
to Bhakti Yoga. Sri Caitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 7.59. As soon as Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu saw the sannyasis, he immediately offered obeisances, and then he went to wash his feet. After washing his feet, he sat down by the place where he had done so. Purport. By offering his obeisances to the Māyāvādī sannyāsis, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu very clearly exhibited his humbleness to everyone. Vaishnavas must not be disrespectful to anyone, to say nothing of a sannyasi. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu teaches, Amanena Manadena. One should always be respectful to others, but should not demand respect for himself. A sannyasi should always walk barefoot, and therefore when he enters a temple or a society of devotees, he should first wash his feet and then sit down in a proper place. In India, it is still the prevalent custom that one put his shoes in a specified place and then enter the temple barefoot after washing his feet. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is an ideal acharya, and those who follow in his footsteps should practice the methods of devotional life that he teaches us.
Lord Caitanya,
he was walking barefoot.
And actually, after paying his obeisances
to the sannyasis,
he washed his feet. In this way, he was practicing the third verse of the Shikshastaka.
He was practicing the third verse of Shikshastaka.
Be humble,
Be humble.
Offer respect to others.
Offer respect to others.
Not expect any respect for oneself.
Not expect respect for oneself. Sri Caitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 7.60.
বসিয়া করিলা কিছু ঐশ্বর্য প্রকাশ মহাতেজময় বপু অতি সূর্যাভাস.
After sitting on the ground, Caitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited his mystic power by manifesting an effulgence as brilliant as the illumination of millions of suns. Purport. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Kṛṣṇa, is full of all potencies. Therefore, it is not remarkable for him to manifest the illumination of millions of suns. Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa is known as Yogeshwara, the master of all mystic powers. Sri Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Kṛṣṇa himself. Therefore, he can exhibit any mystic power.
Māyāvādī sannyāsīs
Māyāvādī sannyāsīs
are very attracted to the impersonal Brahma Jyoti,
are very attracted to the impersonal Brahma Jyoti,
the light of the Brahman.
the light of the Brahman.
Lord Caitanya, by displaying
So Lord Caitanya, by displaying
his effulgence,
his effulgence,
naturally he would be attractive
naturally he would be attractive
to all the Māyāvādī sannyāsīs.
to all the Māyāvādī sannyāsīs. Caitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 7.61.
প্রভাবে আকর্ষিল সব সন্ন্যাসীর মন উঠিল সন্ন্যাসী সব ছাড়িয়া আসন.
When the sannyasis saw the brilliant illumination of the body of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, their minds were attracted, and they all immediately gave up their sitting places and stood in respect. Purport. To draw the attention of common men, sometimes saintly persons, acharyas and teachers exhibit extraordinary opulences. This is necessary to attract the attention of fools, but a saintly person should not misuse such power for personal sense gratification, like false saints who declare themselves to be God. Even a magician can exhibit extraordinary feats that are not understandable to common man, but this does not mean that the magician is God. It is a mostly sinful activity to attract attention by exhibiting mystic powers and then to utilize this opportunity to declare oneself to be God. A real saintly person never declares himself to be God, but always places himself in the position of a servant of God. For a servant of God, there is no need to exhibit mystic powers, and he does not like to do so. But on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a humble servant of God performs his activities in such a wonderful way that no common man can dare try to act like him. Yet a saintly person never takes credit for such actions because he knows very well that when wonderful things are done on his behalf by the grace of the Supreme Lord, all credit goes to the master and not to the servant.
In 1969,
In 1969,
when Srila Prabhupada was received at the Boston airport,
when Srila Prabhupada was received at the Boston airport,
the devotees had come
the devotees had come
from Canada, from New York, from various cities.
from Canada, New York, and from various cities.
When they came, they all paid their obeisances.
When they all came, they all paid obeisances.
They gave him garlands
They gave him garlands
up to his head.
up to his head.
He would unload the garlands,
He would unload the garlands,
then more garlands would come.
and more garlands would come.
After over, he said the Guru is respected like God.
He said, the Guru is respected like God.
But if he thinks he's God,
But if he thinks that he is God,
he's opposite.
he is opposite.
He's not D-O-D,
He is not G-O-D.
D-O-G,
He is D-O-G.
dog.
Dog. Caitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 7.62.
Prakāśānanda name সন্ন্যাসী প্রদান প্রভুকে কহিল কিছু করিয়া সম্মান.
The leader of all the Māyāvādī sannyāsīs present was named Prakāśānanda Sarasvatī, and after standing up, he addressed Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu as follows with great respect. Purport: As Lord Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu showed respect to all Māyāvādī sannyāsīs, similarly, the leader of the Māyāvādā sannyāsīs, Prakāśānanda, also showed his respect to the Lord.
Lord Caitanya offered his respect
Lord Caitanya offered his respect
to all the Māyāvādī sannyāsīs.
to all the Māyāvādī sannyāsīs.
The leader of the Māyāvādī sannyāsīs
The leader of the Māyāvādī sannyāsīs
offered his respect
offered his respect
to Lord Caitanya.
to Lord Caitanya. Adi Leela 7.63.
ইহা আইস শোনহ শ্রীপাদ অপবিত্র স্থানে বৈশ ইহা অবসাদ.
Please come here, Your Holiness. Why do you sit in that unclean place? What has caused your lamentation? Purport: Here is the distinction between Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and Prakāśānanda Sarasvatī. In the material world, everyone wants to introduce himself as very important and great, but Caitanya Mahaprabhu introduced himself very humbly and meekly. The Māyāvādīs were sitting in an exalted position, and Caitanya Mahaprabhu sat in a place that was not even clean. Therefore, the Māyāvādī sannyāsīs thought that he must have been aggrieved for some reason, and Prakāśānanda Sarasvatī inquired about the cause for his lamentation.
All the sannyāsīs are sitting in a raised area.
All the sannyāsīs were sitting in a raised area,
Lord Caitanya sat down
but Lord Caitanya sat down
in an area that was not even clean.
in an area that was not even clean.
So the leader of the sannyāsīs
So the leader of the sannyāsīs
asked to come
has to come
in their midst.
in their midst.
Lord Caitanya's strategy
And Lord Caitanya's strategy
was most appropriate.
Caitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 7.64.
প্রভু কহে আমি হই হীন সম্প্রদায় তোমা সবার সভায় বসিতে না দুয়ায়.
The Lord replied, I belong to a lower order of sannyāsīs. Therefore, I do not deserve to sit with you. Purport: Māyāvādī sannyāsīs are always very puffed up because of their knowledge of Sanskrit and because they belong to the Shankara Sampradaya. They are always under the impression that unless one is a Brahmana and a very good Sanskrit scholar, especially in grammar, one cannot accept the renounced order of life or become a preacher. Māyāvādī sannyāsīs always misinterpret all the sastras with their word jugglery and grammatical compositions. Yet Shripad Shankaracharya himself condemned such jugglery of words in the verse Prapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukrin karanem. Dukrin refers to suffixes and prefixes in Sanskrit grammar. Shankaracharya warned his disciples that if they concerned themselves only with the principles of grammar, not worshipping Govinda, they were fools who would never be saved. Yet, in spite of Sripad Sankaracharya's instructions, foolish Māyāvādī sannyāsīs are always busy juggling words on the basis of strict Sanskrit grammar. Māyāvādī sannyāsīs are very puffed up if they hold the elevated sannyasi title, Tirtha, Ashrama or Sarasvatī. Even among Māyāvādīs, those who belong to the other sampradayas and hold other titles such as Vana, Aranya or Bharati are considered to be lower grade sannyasis. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu accepted sannyasa from the Bharati sampradaya, and thus he considered himself a lower sannyasis than Prakāśānanda Sarasvatī. To remain distinct from Vaishnava sannyasis, the sannyasi of the Māyāvādī sampradaya always think themselves to be situated in a very much elevated spiritual order. But Lord Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, in order to teach them how to become humble and meek, accepted himself as belonging to a lower sampradaya of sannyasis. Thus, he wanted to point out clearly that a sannyasi is one who is advanced in spiritual knowledge. One who is advanced in spiritual knowledge should be accepted as occupying a better position than those who lack such knowledge. The Māyāvādī sampradaya sannyasis are generally known as Vedantis, as if Vedanta were their monopoly. Actually, however, Vedanti refers to a person who perfectly knows Kṛṣṇa. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15:15, Vedaisya sarvairham eva vedya. By all the Vedas, it is Kṛṣṇa who is to be known. The so-called Māyāvādī Vedantis do not know who Kṛṣṇa is. Therefore, their title of Vedanti or knower of Vedanta philosophy is simply a pretension. Māyāvādī sannyasis always think of themselves as real sannyasis and consider sannyasis of the Vaishnava order to be brahmacharis. A brahmachari is supposed to engage in the service of a sannyasi and accept him as his guru. Māyāvādīs sannyasis therefore declare themselves to be not only gurus but Jagat Gurus, or the spiritual masters of the entire world. Although, of course, they cannot see the entire world. Sometimes they dress gorgeously and travel on the backs of elephants in procession, and thus they are always puffed up, accepting themselves as Jagat Gurus. Srila Rupa Goswami, however, has explained that Jagat Guru properly refers to one who is the controller of his tongue, mind, words, belly, genitals and anger. Prithivim sa sishyat. Such a Jagat Guru is completely fit to make disciples all over the world. Due to false prestige, Māyāvādī sannyasis who do not have these qualifications sometimes harass and blaspheme a Vaishnava sannyasi who humbly engages in the service of the Lord.
Lord Caitanya, as the perfect acharya or teacher,
Lord Caitanya, as the perfect acharya and teacher,
are teaching all the puffed up Māyāvādī sannyasis
teaching to the puffed up Māyāvādī sannyasis
how to be humble.
how to be humble.
So Prabhupada,
Srila Prabhupada,
he didn't like to be called
he didn't like to be called
Jagat Guru
a Jagat Guru
because
because
the Māyāvādī sannyasis
the Māyāvādī
made the
sannyasis
title very cheap.
because the Māyāvādī sannyasis they thought the title were very cheap.
But actually Prabhupada was a real spiritual master of the whole world.
But actually Prabhupada is the real spiritual master of the whole world.
He traveled all over the world.
He traveled all over the world.
Had some disciples from all the different continents.
And he has disciples from all different continents.
So he was the real Jagat Guru.
So he was the real Jagat Guru.
But he didn't like this term as they had made it very cheap.
But he didn't like this term as they made it very cheap.
It's a very important chapter
These are very important chapters
because actually it was placed earlier in the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Actually, it was placed earlier in the Chaitanya Charitamrita
Because the teachings of Lord Chaitanya
the teaching of Lord Chaitanya
to the
Māyāvādīs
are so important.
was so important.
They tend to be very influenced by the Māyāvādī sannyāsīs.
We tend to be influenced by the Māyāvādī sannyāsīs.
How Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
How Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
very humbly, he came in the midst
how
of
he
Māyāvādī sannyāsīs.
how he very humbly came in the midst of all the Māyāvādī sannyāsīs.
And they all stood up
And they all stood up
and respected him.
and respect him.
Thus end part 1 of Compilation of the Lord Caitanya session. The leader of the Māyāvādī sannyāsīs, Prakāśānanda Sarasvatī, implores Lord Caitanya under the section How All the Residents of Varanasi Became Vaishnavas.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.